Yeah, it's been that kind of mood that I'm in. Me and the Mothman's been at it again. And in the battles between me and Mothman, my computer blew up like about 2 weeks ago. I've been recording on a tablet, which is why you haven't seen a video from me in a week or two. I recorded the one before this on a tablet. But I've ordered a computer. Hopefully it'll be in the next couple days, and I can get back to normal and stuff. Now the sad thing about that computer going down is for anybody that's actually watching my planetary videos where I take each issue and kind of do a little review and breakdown and explain them a little bit. I was up to issue 23 on that thing, and they were on the computer, and I was going to get them all done, and they're gone. So but anyway, so what I want to show you is the haul for the month of May 2016 so far, man. Okay. Some of this stuff's kind of mixed up. We got some stuff on Free Comic Book Day that was about $1 a piece of what I picked up. They had a sale going on, and actually it was 10% off, so they were 90 cents a piece. They're probably mixed up in here. Hit a flea market, found some books for $1. Flea market, antique shop, and then I went to did a road trip to a couple places. I ended up in Tennessee and met up with Nerdlore, and we ended up going to, I think it was B&D Entertainment or B&E. Oh, I'm going blank on the comic book shop. But anyway, we hit a comic book shop in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we also hit a flea market. I tell you, that's going to show you everything I've got. But everything here is pretty cheap, okay? Go check out Nerdlore's channel. She's she considers herself a newbie to comic books and stuff, but if I would love to see her reach the point of talking about comics and stuff on her channel the way she does to me about like Sandman and stuff, because some of the stuff she picks up on and talks about and sees in those books and puts together things and other comics too is just on the verge of brilliant. So that'd be cool to see that. But anyway, okay, where to start? New Comic Book Day stuff. It was earlier this month. For $1, a few things that I got some issues of Nailbiter. I don't know how this is going to show up on this tablet, so I'm not going to sit here and apologize. But anyway, here's number 7 of Nailbiter. Apparently it's a town of serial killers or something. I heard some buzz about it, number 5, and figured I'd pick up an issue and check them out. Number 8, excuse me, they're out of order. What's called Cold Battle, if you look at that, that's bees on a skull. Yeah, looks like the beekeeper didn't make it. And number 9, this evil-looking hairy dude, just all over looking at those kids. So that's kind of cool. A book that I looked up, and I got number 1 when it came out, and I kind of flipped through it, and I put it back. It's by Kurt Busiek. And now I think the thing is going to be, it's been out for over a year. It's probably around issue 12 or 13 or something right now. But I'm backing up, and I found a few issues for $1 a piece. It's called The Autumn Lands, and it ended up, started out being called Tooth and Claw, or maybe The Autumn Lands Tooth and Claw. But it's a bunch of talking animal kind of books and stuff with a little barbaric feel, and like I said, I haven't really flipped through it and stuff too much. Here's issues 4 and 8. I have number 1 somewhere where I ordered it. But the thing about it is that I would have stuck to the book and read it more, because I found out that this is Kurt Busiek's book that he had ideas for a Commandy book. And if you guys watch my channel, you know how much I love Commandy. So, couldn't do Commandy, so he put the storylines and the talking animals and stuff in this book and gave it his own little twist. So, yeah, I'm on Autumn Lands, okay? Now, what's really wild is my last video, I talked about meeting Garth Ennis, and I had a few words to say about Crossed and things like that. And then, all of a sudden, I go on Free Comic Book Day, and they've got, like, a ton of the first Crossed books that came out. They had 0 and number 1 and stuff. So I picked up a few for $1, but the reason I picked these up is that these actual covers, these comics, going all the way back, here's issue number 1 of Crossed, but it's a cover that's limited to only 2,500 copies according to this. So here's, I got this for like 90 cents, I think. But yeah, here's an issue of Crossed, number 1. I have no idea how this is going to show up on the tablet, but that's limited to 2,500. Same thing with this one. I cannot believe these were just $1. This is issue number 5. I'm not going to get into the book so much. And then one of my buddies, the same day I stopped on the side of a flea market on the side of the road. Turned around, there's one of my buddies selling all these comics and stuff. So I just picked up a few things, because it was my buddy there. But I got this one solely on the cover. I'm going to end up framing this. Here's Doctor Strange number 63. This is some 80s goodness and glory. Just love that cover. So that'll be getting framed. And then I picked up some 80s nostalgia stuff here. Here's Firestar number 1. This was her introduction into the Marvel Universe all proper and stuff, because she started out on Spider-Man and his amazing friends with Iceman and Spider-Man. And so, Harley Quinn wasn't the first, cartoon character pulled into the universe proper-wise. But here's number 1. Here's a newsstand edition of number 1. Here's number 2. It was a 4-issue limited series. Art Adams cover, beautiful Art Adams cover. Number 3. And there she is looking all Spitfire from the Invaders and everything looking there. So, yeah, number 4. And it's not flame powers, it's microwave powers. Okay. Where did I get this? I got this for $1 somewhere along the line, but this is Dale Keown's first work on the Hulk. This is Hulk 367. It's my second copy, but it's a upgrade. That used to be a hot book. And I'm not going to get into it too much here, but, well, yeah, here's this. I'm completing my Infinity Incorporated run. I'm loving finishing up these Baxter series from the DC Comics from the 80s. Teen Titans, Legion, Infinity Incorporated. I'll get around to getting Omega Man sooner or later. But, yeah, just great stuff. Great stuff. Those were direct sale only books. And, I got a bunch of Quasar. Not going to get into those. Not a lot of Quasar fans. I love Mark Gruenwald's probably his first, 3 years on the book. Just a bunch of B characters, a lot of cosmic stuff. Things progress. You never knew where the book was going. But we got the big misprint or whatever it's supposed to be, man. But here's Quasar number 32. And right up here in the corner, it says number 32, part of, Galactic Storm. But here's the newsstand edition that supposedly is some kind of misprint or something where they put number 1 on it. So these may be my second copies of all those. But yeah, it's all just, And for those of you out there who just want to be freaked out, here's a pregnant man. So yeah, there you go. Okay, now, this is from Tennessee, when I took a road trip down there. The first 3 things I got are all from the same bin at a flea market. I got the Wolverine, Chris Claremont, Frank Miller, number 1 from the early 80s, for $5. Didn't even try to hustle the guy down, man. $5. It's all right. I mean, it's got some, there's some issues with the spine and some creasing there on the spine, some spine damage, but yeah, whatever. Just like my 3rd or 4th copy I've ever had of that. Not holding to that one. I got this one because it's that, I've had this before, and I ended up selling this whole Jim Lee, Brian Azzarello run because this whole For Tomorrow story sucked. But, went ahead and got this for $1 in that classic pose. There's a Batman one that goes beside of it. And then I got this for shits and giggles. Deathstroke the Terminator number 1, got that for $1. I don't know if there's a buzz on this because of Green Lantern or not. Okay, and then when Nerd Lore and I were in Tennessee, we ended up getting like some donuts and stuff and started looking around for comic book shops, and we found this one place, Cosmic Influx or something. I don't remember what these places were called, man, but they had on their website, on the reviews and stuff, it was talked about how this is such a great shop and stuff. And we get down there and we asked them about back issues, and they're like, "Oh, we got some stuff." And I think I only went back about 2 or 3 years on their back issues. No big deal. So I asked them. I was like, "What about the rest of the town? Anything else around here?" And they're like, "Oh no, man, we got the best. We got the best." Well, that's bullshit. We found the B&E Entertainment or B&D Comic Shop. I don't know. I've tagged it on my locations on my Instagram where we were there and stuff, but this place was immaculate. Tons of dollar boxes and rows and rows and rows of back issues and all kinds of little toys up on shelves and stuff and things under glass, and it was a proper comic book shop. It was awesome, man. So I hit the dollar boxes and would love to go back one day and got some of this stuff. Okay, Gods and Monsters, the Batman Justice League number 1, Gods and Monsters. This is the story of the Batman in the straight-to-DVD cartoon that Bruce Timm returned to of Gods and Monsters. If you haven't watched Gods and Monsters, you have to watch it because I freaking loved it, man. But This isn't our Bruce Wayne. This is a Mr. Langston who was Man Bat, and this is a different Batman. He drinks blood, you know, different Batman. My Eric Powell stuff I already always loved. Here's number 3 of a 3-issue miniseries. I have 1 and 3 now. I need number 2 of Chimichanga. This great stuff. That little girl with a beard. They do something terrible to her. Eric Powell's just awesome. Got this. I think I got this for $1. Anyway, Batman Adventures number 1. I love my 90s Batman cartoon. Kevin Conroy will always be my Batman, and that cartoon to me is the purest form of what Batman will ever be. And nobody can touch it. Nobody can mess it up because it's here on my shelf, and oh, I'm so happy. And here's the series I always kind of wanted to get. I don't know what was going on in '98. Probably where I was, you know, my son was born back then. But here's book 3 of Batman Adventures: The Lost Years, and I think this is the miniseries or series that happened between season 3 and 4 of the Batman '90s cartoon, because they canceled it and kept them in reruns, and then they brought them back with the Superman cartoons, and you know, it's the '90s, man. And now here's the series I was really happy to find. These used to be pricey, but these are later issues, so they may still be pricey. And it's actually really cool what they did. And I can't believe I got these for $1 a piece. But if you're a fan of the movie Blade Runner was based on a Philip K. Dick novel story called Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? And what Boom Studios did in these prestige formats is that they basically took the book, okay, and they're just putting the oh my god, they're actually putting the book, the narrative, you know, in here, and they're drawing it like a comic book. So this went on for a while. So basically, you're getting one of the most faithful adaptation of a book to comic ever, you know, because they're using the actual text from the book. But here's issue 12, and yes, it's I got that sticker there. I hate to see this, but yeah, it's the Scream, the Scream, that I think that's what it was called, that famous painting. Here's number 15. And it's very good. Very different than Blade Runner, man, but I can see where they were going with it. And number 18. Glad to find those. It's one of those series I could have kicked myself for not trying to collect when it came out. Alright. Yeah, these are more dollar books from that B&E or B&D shop or whatever, man. I've always wanted to get this. I have been becoming a huge Dan Brereton fan, right? He's actually kind of talked to me on Facebook here and there. Nothing major, not like anything personal. But this is a miniseries that he did where it's called Giant Killer. And I'm assuming, you know, he fights giant monsters. Like he's standing on top of a giant spider. And I think he works himself way up to Godzilla types or something. You know, you can see that's heavily influenced, from the Asian market there if you want, you know. But Dan Brereton's style of painting blows me away, man. It's very pulpies and 60s, kind of like those old eerie books and creepy books, and the fact that he understands that color palette amazes me. So I've kind of been looking for this, and I've seen these be a little bit pricey. Yeah, I hope these are showing up all right. But yeah, I can't wait to sit down and read these. And there we go. We've worked our way up to a Godzilla type. It looks like he's in the mouth, stabbing it through the brain. So good stuff there. More monsters. Giant Killer. Kind of like Troll Hunter before the movie came out. Okay. Now just some fill-in stuff for me. Jack Kirby's Fourth World. You know, Walt Simonson cover. I think the written sides are by John Byrne. A giant hand picking up Supertown. The Fantastic Four #1 variant by Jim Lee from the 90s as part of that Heroes Reborn stuff where they were all sent into a different universe. And 90s was a sad time for Marvel. I got this Wizard Ace special here where it's just Kurt Busiek and George Perez back in '98. The Avengers return, you know, for the heroes return proper in the Marvel Universe. And we had Kurt Busiek and George Perez bringing them back, you know, into the universe. It was all exciting and stuff. And I even love this. I got to track down this Avengers half issue because that's about Bruce Timm. I mean, it's the 90s, and this dude was like hot and heavy into the Batman cartoon, you know. Got me some Avengers, the Kurt Busiek run. Here's an annual. Busiek, Ivan Rice, and Churchill. Annual 2001. I don't see a number on it. Great cover on that one. Number 43/458. You know, nice. Looks like we have some Atlanteans and some. I'm going blank on my Marvel stuff. Some monsters. Deviants. Some deviants, like the Eternal Deviants. There it is. And then I got this for free at some little antique shop we stopped at. If you got 5 books or something, you got one for free. And like I said, they're all mixed up. But we also have Act of God, book 1 of 3. No idea what this is. It's a prestige format. You know, it looks like we've got some Justice League. It looks like the Joe Kelly. I don't know, man. JSA. I don't know what's going on with this. A bunch of them. All right, thanks for hanging in there, man. Okay, we're going to keep going here if you've hung in this far. Let's see where we're at. I got this at some books. Yeah, stopped in a Books A Million. Ended up getting this for $4. But this is a Planet of the Apes trade. Apparently it's volume 2 of a series. This is 1,300 years before the first Planet of the Apes movie in the 60s in their chronological order. You know, so it's kind of showing the humans still kind of talk here, and there's some stuff going on. The artwork is fantastic. It seems like it's real political. Got this for $1. It's book 1 of, they're reprinting the Miracle Man series from the 80s. And this is Neil Gaiman coming on board. They considered this book 4, so it got a new number 1. But it's the Golden Age. So it was actually pretty good. It's more of how that world has been affected by Miracle Man and its people. Got this for $1. Now these books came from $1 at the Mercer Mall because they had another comic show. I haven't had a table there in forever. But for $1 I got the whole Wanted trade by Mark Miller and J.G. Jones. Is that who it is? Yeah, J.G. Jones. And of course this was made into a movie. And I gotta say, man, after reading this, the movie is actually better than the comic. They took everything that was kind of good out of this and restructured it into a better story, I think. Because when I was reading this, you know, like it or love it, and this is just an honest review, I liked it. Don't get me wrong, I liked it. I enjoyed reading it and stuff, but it's really masturbatory. And it's like Mark Miller's kind of getting off on some of his own stuff here, like, and it feels like he's tapping into his perverted 13-year-old mind sometimes. So it's kind of weird to read in places with what he's doing. You can tell he's getting off on it. I don't care what he says. Okay. Then I got this. It's Uncanny X-Men 205. I got it because it's a Barry Windsor Smith issue. He does such awesome stuff, man. Space Usagi number 1. Enough said. And then I got this for $1 also. Elseworld's Finest, Supergirl and Batgirl. Apparently it's a world where the genders are kind of reversed or something, you know. But I remember seeing these chicks in Multiversity and stuff, part of a world. Don't know if I showed this before, but I ended up picking this up for $1. Speed up copy of Amazing Spider-Man 230, that classic Spider-Man versus the Juggernaut. And then I found this in here. I didn't put it in a haul video, but I'm missing one issue somehow, man. But I got the Star Trek meets Green Lantern, and what I read of it, it's kind of predictable. They spend a lot of time, as far as they've been. It has some Blackest Night stuff in it. That's why I really wanted it. That's Necron. But yeah, they spend a lot of issues. People on the Enterprise end up getting rings, you know, and it's kind of predictable who's going to be getting what. And then we get to the trades here, man. I had more trades and stuff, but anyway, ended up Northern Virginia for work in a place called Winchester, and I went ahead and did it, man. This was a $40 book when it came out. Apparently, it's, you know, I got it for $10, but it's the in color. It's the the Monster of Frankenstein. Okay, it's got Mike Plough in it, John Buscema. It's in color, except for the pages from the magazine, which are like kind of ink washed and gray from the magazines. But it's all. I mean, it's just some awesome stuff. I'm a huge fan of this character, and I've got the book, some of the books here somewhere, but. You know, I'm getting old, man, and I want to finish reading this, man. But it reprints a lot of stuff. Just, it's so good. And then for 50 cents at the Goodwill, I got the Far Side Gallery Part 2. There you go, out of the blue. Now, I have the complete Far Side. I've read the Far Side probably since I want to say 85, you know, until they canceled it, and I always kept the trades. This is one of the cartoons that I used to clip them out of the newspapers and try to keep them. Okay. So anyway, that's it, guys. Nothing real fancy and stuff. Just want to go back out here and finish my little rumble with the Mothman, you know, and see what we can get into, man. Okay, guys, later. Bye-bye.